Anything new?
No, it's just they're just trying to remind us to do our job.
All right.
However, most of the problems are the pilots. The pilots do something wrong and we get blamed for it. So
That's true.
I thought that was the definition of FRO.
Yeah, the role for a FRO is to take all the blame.
yeah,
All right, so Dave, are we good? Okay, let's start. Please stand. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Bob, would you?
Bow our heads. Father, we thank you for this particular season of joy. We thank you for watching over the Civil Air Patrol this past year. Give us strength. Give us guidance for our mission. Be with those who still may be en route for our meeting, but most of all, just be with those who are indisposed, Father. In your name we pray.
Amen.
Amen.
Okay, thank you everybody who could make it in person today. Before we start, I'd like to remind about the holiday schedule. So today we have Airspace Education Night, as usually, the fourth Tuesday of the month. Next week, we have regular schedule for we will have emergency services topics covered, and the following on December 12th we have our New Year party scheduled starting at 6 p.m. at Riverside's Old Spaghetti Factory. So the RSVP was sent to everybody via copy mail, and for those members for whom I have personal emails, I duplicated to personal emails since it's very important. So check your email, check your spam filters, and if you see the email from me in a spam filter in your personal email, please clear it so next time you get my notifications. The deadline for SVPs is next Tuesday, no later than by the next meeting. We should have a final number to the restaurant for proper planning. Any questions? Okay.
They had us for dinner at 6:30. I said we normally meet at the bar starting at 6 o'clock, and by 7 o'clock everybody's there and we're supposed to sit down. She said, well, whenever you're ready, we'll do it. So that's kind of the plan we've always done in the past.
Yeah, that's good. So far, I have quite good number of our members responding to the RSVP. So please check it and fill out the simple form, very basic, just your name and you intend to be there, and if you plan to bring a guest, you're welcome to do so. Just a quick reminder, we do not have funds to pay for the dinner, so everybody pays for yourself. That's our typical approach. So there is no limit on guests. You can bring as many as you wish as long as you pay for them.
They normally have a menu for a group. It's about 4 items. So it's very simple. A lot of bread and butter, and salad, and good wine.
Yeah, perfect. Well, Terry is not here, he's traveling, but I'd like to say thank you to Terry for doing a really good job doing touch-up paint in the hallway, decorating the hallway with memorable items from Squadron history, and actually cleaning the main area quite well, so it looks great. So Terry, thank you if you're watching. Appreciate it very much. Next thing I'd like to mention, it's that part of the year we are in a new fiscal year, so the dues are due anytime. So you should have received the invoice for the amount relevant to you individually. If you have prorated amount, then you just owe that. Otherwise, it's $300 this year, and unless we, get more membership. So please also recruit in your network and your community. If anyone is interested in our missions, please invite them to our meetings, and we will talk to these prospect members on the process, how to become members and actually be effective within the organization. On aircraft status, we still don't have our aircraft moved back. It's still up in Northern California. The aircraft from NorCal unit is still in repairs. They do not have a clear idea what may be wrong with it. I was again interviewed about the incident of a partial power loss on takeoff. That incident within the CAP system is closed, but the repairs have not been done because the current mechanic is considering some kind of induction leak, and it's pretty hard to troubleshoot it for the aircraft sitting at the airport with no shops available. In addition to 887 Charlie Papa, we have 216 Charlie Papa, which is Arizona aircraft. It's Turbo 206, which was relocated to Riverside to support the Reaper Chaser mission. Currently, qualified mission pilots are engaged in that mission. They have completed the training and they completed a few sorties on that mission. And it creates an opportunity for us to use that aircraft for Turbo 206 qualification. If anyone needs that, it can be done. There was no restriction placed on the use of aircraft so far, so I'm taking the opportunity and I'll get turbo endorsement hopefully in the next couple of weeks as soon as I get an instructor to work with me on that. So keep that in mind, and it's also a good opportunity to learn about specific features of that aircraft besides just being turbo. So you can come over to the hangar, check the POH, and plug it to the external power source and see what makes it different from other aircraft.
The aircraft up north has an induction, possible induction leak.
It's one of the theories because
There's
they
an easy way of checking that. You use brake cleaner while the engine is running, spray around the couplers, and if the engine RPM changes, you got a leak there because it's sucking air. It's an old mechanic trick.
Yes, yes.
The 206 that you mentioned, the 216 Charlie Papa, is in the maintenance shop with a induction leak that they're working on. I'm thinking that maybe a week or two before it's finished and or repaired.
Oh, so the Arizona aircraft is having also induction leak?
Yes, sir.
Oh, I see. Okay. Well, please let me know if you hear anything new, and I will adjust my schedule as necessary.
Yeah, they flew it in here for an oil change, but they said that they had an idle problem. But the idle problem wasn't just an idle problem; it was an induction leak or something in the fuel system that they're trying to diag and determine what it is. And with the history of that aircraft, they've actually had the fuel system removed and sent back to the fuel system rebuilding company 4 times to get it fixed, and so far it's not fixed. So Kevin's going to be taking that fuel system apart and sending it back for the 5th time. So I'll give you an update when I get it. But right now that aircraft is down and not functional.
Okay, good to know. Thank you. Yeah, speaking of maintenance, reminder, our current maintenance officer is planning to relocate to Texas, which makes aircraft maintenance officer position for the squadron open. Please apply to me or Mike Swift, and it's not that hard. You just need to have some time to deal with aircraft maintenance issues from here to there. Let's say it could be updating records in MRAT, it could be grounding aircraft based on reports from pilots, coordinating maintenance with maintenance one, and making sure that maintenance records are up to date. So at a high level, it's not that much. The workload is very reasonable, but it gives you an opportunity to learn about aircraft in a much more intimate way. So highly recommend that. Okay, so the other good news, we have 2 new set appointments, SATs. Myself and Chris Younger got through the system. Thank you, Mike, for supporting our nominations. Apparently, the nomination through e-services didn't really work, and it took just sending an email, a recommendation email, up to the right contact within the wing to get it done. So in addition to Mike departing, Lon, and Terry, we now have additional SATs for mission scanner, mission observer. I can also do mission staff assistant training, and Chris got water survival somehow.
I think it's because I saved that guy.
Maybe.
The guy in my group almost drowned. Well,
Right.
Well, I think as the instructor put it, since he didn't have to jump in, that was good.
And for you, Dave, to get the airborne photographer set qualification, you need to reach out to current sets within the wing, talk to them about your qualifications, since you already completed the prerequisite, and most likely they will recommend you because we are very short of AP sets in the wing.
So I just need a recommendation.
You just need a recommendation. Just reach out. There are only 2 or 3 in the whole wing, so it will be easy. So, and having you in a group will be fantastic help for us to get, you know, emergency services teams up and current.
Okay. I'll get back with you after the meeting and find out who they are.
Okay. All right. So today airspace education night, and in line with that, I remind you that's one of our missions. So reach out to your friends, to your community, the schools in the vicinity of your places of work or where you live. You can just pay a visit to the school, talk to the counseling staff, and they will direct you to the right channels. That's one way to do it. Or if you have someone who you know personally, that's even better. So hopefully I got my first recruit from one of the Riverside schools, and he promised he'll sign up, and he promised to talk to the teaching staff at his school to get more people interested. And I will let Chris talk about it in details, but it's a great program. It gives teachers lifetime membership for one fee of $35 paid at enrollment, and they get to order free STEM kits every year, so 1 kit a year per person. So if it's multiple teachers within the school, they can get multiple kits. It's not per school, it's per person, from what I recall, right, Chris?
It's not per year from what
It's not per year?
No, as soon as basically they can request them as soon as they finish the they request a kit, they test the kit students, pre-knowledge test, saying, you know, all the students here got like 75% before, then they go through a course with the kit, and then after that they do another evaluation and say, oh, the kids now they've got all 85 or something like that, and once that's completed, then they're eligible to request another kit. So it's 1 kit at a time. Turnaround is probably, well, turnaround what I'm seeing and what I've asked about is about a month minimum. So realistically, you can get 6, 7, 8 kits in a school year.
Oh, good.
You know, if it's a like homeschooling situation where you do it all year round or something like that, then you can keep going.
Okay. Well, that's it on my side. So, Chris, the floor is yours.
I'm just going to airdrop you my presentation.
more good stuff. So while Chris is getting ready, I'll share on screen his presentation.
And I gotta remember, it's not a touch screen. I push the arrows together. Like at first, actually, before I get into the presentation, that I planned, just a little bit more of what Andre was saying about the teachers. We actually did have one of the guests that we had here a couple months ago sign up last night. She texted me, and a teacher from Rialto Unified School District that we've known for over a dozen years or so. She texted last night and said, "What's your CAP number so I can list you as the recruiter on me on this form?" And gave her my number, and she punched in. She's already signed up as of last night and has already requested the flight sim kit. So that's we got some fruit out of that day that we did a couple months ago. So yeah, I told her if she has any other questions, just let us know, and we'll help her navigate the the e-services website. But she seems to be getting the hang of it, because before I could find the answer myself, she said, "Oh, I found it." So that's good. So again, that goes towards our goals for the year on aerospace education. Well, when I fill out next year's form, I'll be able to say, yes, we got at least one, and if the one Andre's talking to,
Another one
yeah. And also the hope is, of course, that she's the first at that school. I still have yet to really connect with that school district's science head. We keep playing phone tag, basically. And the goal is, of course, to get several teachers, and then, of course, spread that out to different schools. Like I said, you're talking to some school over here in Riverside. I know Chuck Dillon was talking about some interest from some school up in Woodcrest area. So just in general, if you're not sure what to do, you can always just point them towards me, and we can get it going. The other thing, again, before the presentation starts, so about 6 weeks ago, I requested the weather kit. Came in this box, very nondescript. Haven't yet figured out exactly what I'm supposed to do with it.
Well, you'll have to have Colonel Swift show you how to get to the roof.
Huh? Get to the roof, yeah. No,
Yeah.
I'm not sure about that, but
weather station.
yeah, but it is a weather station.
What kind, do you know which brand is it? 'Cause I set up one at home, so I probably can. Yeah, that's got to go on the roof.
So this is just one of the pieces. I mean, I think Mike's the only one online right now.
Yeah, because we can. I think depending on the model, we can probably set that up and have it be a recording station. So not the K-Roz station is not good or anything.
We can get rid of, or take it down to Corona and get rid of that missing wind.
That's probably a good idea.
We'll take one to Bunnings Plus.
Oh, it'll just sit there and swirl at 30 minutes.
This is one piece. The second piece, it's called AccuRite. Is the brand. It, weather sensor single solar panel. That's a tongue twister. So
This is probably the base and the pole in that box.
something like that. I know I looked at it, but again, it was a while ago, right when it arrived, and we haven't had meetings since then. I might not have looked at this piece.
Yeah, one thing, in addition to STEM kits, which may be interesting to teachers, is they're entitled to a Teacher on the Plane program, which gives us pilots some opportunities to fly.
That's the one. That's the once a year. So those are the top
Per
flight.
person.
Once, this one here is a components. There's USB. There's probably scans and stuff in there. But yeah, so that's one of the STEM kits we got. Took about a week. So in order for us to get another one, I'm going to have to give you guys a quiz on weather.
together, and then we'll try to test it out and see how we do it later. Because we have to do the same thing. I have to fill out the evaluation form and say, well, this is what our guys knew before we got the STEM kit, and this is what we knew after we got the STEM kit, just to prove that the STEM kit itself is providing some sort of educational purpose. And of course, the last STEM kit we got was the flight simulator that I showed last month, and that that was just the yoke and rudder pedals. Of course, with the majority of us being pilots, or at least having some significant time in an aircraft, it's like I was talking to one of the the group aerospace education leader. I said, well, most of our guys already knew a lot about airplanes and stuff, so there wasn't a whole lot of bump in the grades to give on that. So, but that kid actually predated me. So the presentation today, following up on the theme of the Artemis program. It's on slide 6. That's why. Okay. So I've used the same slide for the entry.
Make it full screen.
Yeah. Oh, maybe it's the play button.
Got to be.
There we go. All right. So once again, just break down what we're talking about. Artemis 1, the original uncrewed test flight of the launch system. Artemis 2, the upcoming crewed flight that goes around the moon, and then Artemis 3 and beyond, the crewed flights that go to the moon, land on the moon, and start establishing a more permanent presence on the moon. Today, we're going to talk about the new spacesuit. It's really actually kind of cool. It's called the Exploration Extravehicular Mobility Unit, or the XEMU. It's made by a commercial company called Axiom Space. The prototype here is, of course, in very, very dark gray. It'll be all white when it actually hits, when the astronauts actually have it, for temperature control, also, of course, for uniform and everything else along those lines. This is the first major part of the program to start implementing commercial resources into the plan. Because as most of us know, if we've ever studied any of the Apollo missions, and pretty much all of space flight up until about 15 years ago, it's been government agencies only. Axiom is an external contractor that is basically building all this stuff with the goal of selling it as well to independent companies and non-government entities once space becomes more open to non-government entities. Of course, we already have that also with Elon and Amazon and some of the other organizations out there, or companies out there, trying to get to space. But the goal, they want to basically build an economy on the moon by working with these commercial providers to like I said, get a foothold up there. The company is encouraged, again, to pursue other commercial customers for their moonwalking services, and it's designed to basically benefit both NASA and the commercial market by just getting that competition out there, so that more than it's not just NASA building this, or the Russian Space Agency or the European Space Agency just building these things and then keeping it all to themselves and working out government level negotiations to get it done. It's just business now. And then, of course, NASA will, of course, get the rights to use the technologies, and again, it's under contract for future exploration. So, why do they need a new spacesuit? old suits were basically one size fits none. These suits, they're what's the right word for it? They have a bit of a more modular design so that they can be customized more easily fit a wide range of astronauts. Tall, we're not stuck with looking at everybody as an average height, average weight. Um, you know, 30 to 40-year-old male that fits the suit. Um, we're expanding this to a lot more people than just NASA test pilots, basically, which is what the Apollo crew was. They also have increased safety through a redundant construction system to really their goal was no single point of failure could put the astronaut's life in danger. The modular design will allow it to be multi-purpose, so it'll be and it's essentially cost effective to remove a piece here or change a piece there for different types of purposes. So if they're needing to go just drive, if their mission objective is to just get on the rover and drive around and explore, basically, they'll have a suit designed to help them get in and out of that rover more quickly and interface with the rover. But if their goal is to get out, go to a certain spot, and say start looking for water ice or anything like that, then they'll have a suit that's more geared towards that particular mission, and maybe won't be as easy to move in and out of the rover, but during that digging part of the mission, they'll be more secure, more safe. The development involved technical experts in sewing. We don't think about that a lot of times, right? But I mean, how tight must the weaving and the seams be on these suits in order to keep air out? I mean, we look at the clothes we have, and it's like, yeah, you put them in the wash a couple times and start seeing, holes around the pockets and all the other stuff. There's a lot of technicians were involved in technical aspects of it, of course. The engineering, they had some medical doctors working on it to, make sure that it has what, they're able to provide what the body needs to get the suit or keep the astronaut safe and healthy while he's in it. And the goal, of course, is, again, with that modular design, they won't need to fully redesign the suit, hopefully, very often. They'll just be able to change out, again, pieces here and there to so we don't have to go through this big R&D cycle every time they want a new suit. We'll see how that works, but that's the goal. And most importantly, it provides better mobility. I mean, I think if you're familiar with the Apollo missions and pretty much the big clumsy white suits that they got right now, just looking at this, you can tell it. Unless it doesn't move at all, it's got to have better mobility than those things they're using right now. This is a video I found explaining why better mobility is important. If it plays. Why did you not play? Let's keep going to the next slide. Let's do that way.
Hold on a second. For the benefit of teams,
there's called a supercut of astronaut fails in the suit.
Don't fall in the back.
That's where Moonwalker, I think, came from.
Smooth criminal, lean.
Walking stick for support.
Oh man.
It's like they basically had to use the pressure in the suit to like make themselves spring around.
Yeah. Listing. More right rudder.
Ouch.
But we didn't actually go there, so where did you get all this
Yeah.
footage from?
It's AI.
Share back. Oh, come on. What did I do? Many
There's
windows.
Artemis 3.
Many windows.
But yeah. So, as the video clearly demonstrated, and now it wants to play. So I'll talk while the video plays again. So as the video is clearly demonstrating, you know, mobility is a major issue in a spacesuit. You know, it's fun. It's funny for us now looking at it, but at the same time, it's like you got to feel for these guys because, you know, these are some of the world's best test pilots, and they're up there. You know, this footage is getting laughed at on, you know, who would have been the late night talk shows back then. I don't know, but it's getting, you know, it's getting laughed at on those types of things, and here it is. You know, they did amazing things, and this is what they're stuck with trying to move. So that's one of the main things with the new suit is they're trying to get something where if the guy falls down, he can just get back up instead of trying to do this ridiculous push up, jump, lean back maneuver that you need to do. Because it really just came down to, you know, you couldn't bend your arms enough, you couldn't bend your knees enough, couldn't bend your hips enough.
The other thing it looks like their difficulty is that they're sinking into the topsoil of the surface.
Yeah,
And therefore it drags their foot and therefore they lose their balance.
yeah, and that's something, of course, experience is teaching I think they call it the regolith, is the that powder on the surface of the moon. That I'm not sure if they actually expected that, or if that was a surprise element to them when they actually landed there.
Well, by later missions, they had that's what moonwalk, which is that kind of bouncy
Yeah.
motion.
Yeah, and as they got better at it, they like
Because they were able to simulate it on Earth, so they could
Yeah.
practice it.
and of course we've gotten better at simulating low G environments. Got the water tanks now that they practice in. Of course, I think they might have used something like that too. But we've got all kinds of stuff now to help simulate that. But in general, if making that suit so that it's not so rigid, at least helps when you do fall to get back up. So, and this is another video that hopefully will.
Some big news from NASA. Plans to return to the moon, even though the mission is 2 years away. The space agency is ramping up preparations. And the Artemis 3 mission set for 2025, which will send the next man and first woman to the lunar surface. Well, today, NASA and Axiom Space, they are unveiling the design, the spacesuit that will be worn by the future moonwalkers. And first on CBS Mornings, Mark Strassman traveled to Houston to get a sneak peek of the new suit.
It's got to be one of the most proud moments of my life, I guarantee you.
Spacesuits. To go back to the moon, NASA's closet needed a refresh.
It is the most beautiful sight.
In space, to dress for success is a matter of survival.
How hard is this?
Very. it is very, very challenging. The glove bladders is kind of the inner layer.
Russell Ralston works for Axiom Space. Last September, NASA hired the Houston Aerospace Company to build a new spacesuit for the first Artemis moon landing mission to the lunar South Pole. Here, shadowed craters are home to some of the coldest temperatures in the solar system, almost 400 degrees below zero.
Going into a permanently shaded region on the moon is something that's never been done before by anything.
NASA spent 15 years developing its own next-generation moon suit before outsourcing the project to Axiom. The company adapted more than half of NASA's design.
So this is it. Yes, it's pretty close. Inevitably, we'll tweak a couple things, but in large part, that's pretty much the suit.
With one notable cosmetic difference, the color. The outer layer will be white, made of mylar and Kevlar.
So the actual flight suit will look more like this.
What about this would make Neil and Buzz and the Apollo guys jealous?
Probably everything. I think this suit is going to have a huge leap forward in terms of mobility.
Oh,
The Apollo suits were bulky, inflexible. Moonwalking astronauts often fell. Getting back up looked like slapstick.
It was hard work, yeah.
Charlie Duke was the 10th man to walk on the moon. He remembers even the simplest of tasks, like picking up a hammer, was a struggle.
Working against that suit was demanding, squeezing the gloves and moving the arms and trying to bend over, and so it was exhausting.
This suit will be much easier to walk in or to do a lot of the same tasks that they did back in Apollo and more, but to do it in a little bit easier way.
Axiom engineer Russell Kelly slipped into the suit to show us how flexible it can be.
You do that pretty easily.
Oh yeah, it's not too bad.
It's a top-to-bottom redesign. The helmet's greater visibility, and these boots were made for moonwalking, thermally insulated for the moon's south pole.
Can you hit a golf ball in this suit? I hope so. I think you can.
And until now, no spacesuit was ever designed to fit a woman.
Oh, I think it looks really cool.
Peggy Whitson is director of human spaceflight at Axiom. The former NASA astronaut has spent more time in space than any American and completed 10 spacewalks wearing suits now more than 4 decades old.
And some of them I couldn't even get my hands together. That makes it hard to do a lot of detailed and delicate tasks.
Just to have a suit that fits.
Oh, it's huge.
This 21st century spacesuit is made with 21st century technology. Laser cutters precisely slice different fabrics. These 3D printers build components, saving time and money. But some parts are still assembled the old-fashioned way. In Axiom's sewing room, we met Zach Paw. His resume includes the Houston Ballet and Cirque du Soleil. His new challenge? Space gloves.
There is definitely an added sense of responsibility with space work.
This is more exacting.
This is more exacting. Yeah, exactly.
Axiom suit prototypes will eventually be tested here at NASA's Neutral Buoyancy Laboratory. Part of the 40-foot deep pool now simulates a South Pole lunar landscape.
We can mimic partial gravity.
NASA's Laura Kearney oversees the program and will make sure Axiom is meeting requirements.
It's going to give us a really great indication of how mobile the suit is, and again, what kind of fatigue, if anything, the crew members are going to feel after working for 6 or 7 hours.
Making a suit for an astronaut is no ordinary trip to a tailor, and Axiom knows the stakes.
I go to church with astronauts. We see them when we're getting groceries. We know their kids, the product you're making. Their life is going to depend on that. So it's something we take extremely seriously.
The moon seems closer than ever, and this new suit is a big step. For CBS Mornings, Mark Strassman in Houston.
Wow, that is amazing. I just want to know, like, how do they seal all those seams in the suit? Because they have to be airtight, right? But if you saw him, they're making those stitches. So, any guesses?
Just very carefully.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Probably many, many, many layers. Yes, yes.
I love that blooper reel from the moon.
Oh,
Poor
so
guys falling
funny.
over. I know.
Oh my gosh.
But these new suits are going to be a game changer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually like the colorful gloves.
Enough of the. So, as far as that's pretty much all on the suit. The company Axiom, on a related note, is also working on a commercial space station. That's obviously a what's the right word for it? Mock-up, rendering of what this. Okay, well, on Teams, let's see.
Behind.
How's it now? Oh, there's. I was gonna just jokingly describe the rendering of a.
Does it show now?
So again, Axiom is working on the commercial space station. This is a rendering of what that plans to be looking like. They're also working on a module for ISS, and next things that I want to talk about in this series on Artemis is the components and specs of the launch system, the European service module, and again, more stuff about the mission profile for the second mission. Maybe by the time it's actually, I actually get there, they might actually be launching the second mission. That's pretty much what I've got on this presentation. Stop sharing here. Back to any questions or comments, discussion about the whole thing, or?
What pressure is on the inside? Did they publish that at all?
I didn't see it if they did. I don't recall seeing that. I'm presuming they'll probably just try to mimic whatever standard pressure. I don't think they would want to go deviate too far, but I didn't see it anywhere. Anything talking about that.
They say 10, the pressure is about 8 psi, 7,000 feet. Otherwise you blow up.
Yeah.
The body expands. I was kind of curious.
Yeah, I don't recall seeing that. It might be in there somewhere, and I just wasn't looking along those lines. But I couldn't tell you.
No comments on Starship's recent test.
Oh, the recent rapid deconstruction. rapid plan
Planned deconstruction.
deconstruction. Yeah, but of course that's part of the testing process they like to do. Is you know,
A little step up above Texas.
yeah. So yeah, it was SpaceX, right? Yeah, the SpaceX just how to launch, testing one of their modules, and it basically, I think they were testing, I think, like 15 different objectives, and they got 14 of them down. And the last one, something went wrong, and so they hit the self-destruct button. Basically, makes a nice big fireworks show, and it's kind of their methodology seems, is, from what I'm seeing or what I'm reading, is that their methodology is more along the lines of test a whole bunch of different things at once, and if it fails, we'll blow it up and try again. Since they're not, they don't have to worry about answering to anyone outside of their own board about what the money's being spent on. It's a different methodology, right? And as long as
the thing just doesn't look right when it's flying though.
Yeah, but
it's too big.
Yeah.
Starship.
Yeah.
Thing's massive. What do you say? 5,000 tons.
Yeah. But it doesn't look right when it's like falling on its belly. It doesn't look right at all.
But yeah, we'll see what they do. So far, they haven't gotten anybody hurt, so that's what matters.
They haven't returned one from suborbit, right? Like they've done tests where they've kind of lifted off and touched down, but they haven't shot it up and then brought it all the way back, right?
No, they have were the ones that were.
Not
Not the Star. The rockets.
Because I'm still trying to figure out, like, that much weight, and just because I mean I've been to SpaceX, I've seen their factory. It's like you can kind of, I understand, and you can see the Falcon 9s when they return to Earth. Starship's huge. Like it's just I just keep trying to, like, man, how do they get that thing to? Anyways.
Well, that's why they're rocket scientists and we're not.
Well, I think it's like what 26 engines or something like that. They also, did you see they released the, because when they keep talking about we're going to actually have missions to Mars, they actually did release, like, the logistics plan for how that's all going to work.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, it's like they launch a multi-stage Starship into orbit, and then that one disconnects, and then they launch another multi-stage that connects to it. Then they fly it off to Mars, and then they leave whenever they go to Mars, they leave a launch vehicle, and they come because they're able to take off without a double stage. It was very interesting because I kept trying to figure out, like, how they planning on getting people back,
yeah.
and then the whole need to have a supply chain if you're going to do Mars. But yeah, they actually described it, and what I didn't realize is, as big as Starship is, there's a multi-stage version of it. So look out for that.
Yeah. And I'm also trying to make sure I'm not confusing my, what SpaceX is doing with, what TV shows are doing. Because For All Mankind is doing a lot of that stuff already. So it's impressive what everybody's doing right now, and like I said, just with the collaboration between the commercial agencies, NASA, ESA, and so forth, it's really getting things moving again, back the way that they kind of stagnated for a little while. And personally, I think it'd be great if we see that excitement, that there was for space exploration. Like, I remember growing up in the '80s when the space shuttle was the big thing, and every space shuttle launch was an event, yeah. And it was like, and that wasn't even, I can't imagine how exciting it would have been, during the Apollo days when.
No, it was an interesting time. You're right, because the '80s was an interesting time because, like, I was fortunate enough to go to a school that we had, like, a little sister space program, and had the opportunity to talk to the shuttle in flight, like through ham radio, and it was like, at the time, as a kid, you're like, oh, that's kind of cool, and now I realize, well, that's actually really cool. Like we don't do that today. Like we don't really have that kind of interaction with the space program, but you could actually, it was just when they passed overhead, like they had a schedule of schools that they were talking to, and it was like the coolest thing. And we had a mock-up of the shuttle, and that was really cool.
Yeah, I think the a lot of interest started to wane when we when the shuttle program when the shuttle program started becoming passe, and it was like, oh, they're doing a mission every month or every 2 months, and it was like people stopped wanting to. It wasn't a big event every time they did it, and it was I remember like I said, in the 80s it was like great, going to space, and then in the 90s it was like, why are we going to space? And
now we have junk.
Yeah.
Well, but I think that's if you look at the space program, that's happened every single time. It's like, we're going to do this and we're going to get so good at it that everybody's going to be bored. And we do that all the time, and then something bad happens, and now it's like, why are we wasting money on this? And it's like, well, we have to do some discovery. And it's going to be, so now we're going to do space tourism, and we'll get bored of that, and then there'll be a horrible accident in space that loses a bunch of civilians, and then it'll be addressed.
Just so long as there's not a spaceship Hindenburg or something like that.
Oh, it'll happen.
No, I know. I'm saying nobody names it that.
Oh, yeah.
Space exploration should stop to be an exploration. It should become an integral part of economy. Then people will travel to moon for work, as regularly as people travel to Europe for vacation. Then it becomes natural process, right? I think it's kind of humans' nature to dismiss cool stuff because it's
and everybody,
dangerous, too
and
boring.
everybody always has the whole "what's in it for me" type of thing too. And I think that's one thing that, in general, NASA has done a really bad job of sharing with the general public how much of their stuff that we do is based on the research that they did.
Besides Tang and freeze-dried ice.
I mean, things like contact lenses and stuff like that. These were developed using space technologies. We go up there, you go in 0G and do something and make it like, oh, well, this works, and then they come down here and they figure out a way to make it work in full gravity, because now we know it can be done. We just need to figure out how to make it work in either vacuum or full gravity or whatnot. So that's one thing that and that's something we can help in that regard too, in terms of with the whole aerospace thing, right? Even aviation, people are like, what's planes, right? Planes used to be so cool. It's like you'd be like, there is a 747 flying overhead. Now it's like, it's that big loud noisy thing flying overhead. No, obviously everyone in this room still looks up when we hear 4 engines going overhead. But like,
and now we have people's bare feet.
You used to dress up to go on the plane, and now it's
bare feet and dogs.
Yeah, draping your hair over the back of the seat. I don't have that problem, but yeah. So it's again just awareness of space, of aerospace, and what aerospace contributes to society through technology is key to what we do. I mean,
I think it's like, once we get to the point where it's more commonplace, and it's not so much the either people that are highly specialized and trained or the very, very rich, because the one thing that seems to be common is everyone who has been to space, like even low orbit, their attitude toward what happens on this planet changes. And it's like, we need more people to have that experience, because without tooting the naturalist and conservative kind of oh, we have to save the planet, but it's like, well, we do technically have to save the planet because we're on it, but everybody who goes up there has a much different opinion about things we do on this planet. So I think that we need to speed that process up somehow.
And long as you're not in space, like when the nuclear war goes off, and then end up getting zapped into a different timeline and finding a planet full of apes.
Planet of the Apes. Yeah.
Anyways, that's pretty much the presentation for today. So,
Thank you, Chris. Good job. Well, before we wrap, I forgot to mention one more thing. There is another cycle of wing mission alerting officer dues. So there was an email sent by Josh Ranzugla. So look for that. Look for word WMAO. Our next cycle is in January. So he distributed a spreadsheet, sign up. It's very simple. You choose the time and date that works for you, put your name and phone number, and watch a couple of training videos he shares every time he sends the request for that duty. Your responsibility is to be able to answer the phone, put down the information about the mission which was raised to CEP, and pass the information to the incident commander currently on duty. So it's a very simple job, and out of many times I have done it, I have never got a call. But you never know. You may get a call and it may start a life-saving mission for someone. So keep that in mind and please sign up. That's all for today. Thank you everybody for attending. And that concludes the meeting.